Today is Wednesday, and I post studio talks on Wednesdays. Sometimes these talks are about whatever is going on in my head or in my work this week, and sometimes you submit questions to me and I speak to those questions, not because I am an expert or because I have all the answers, but because this is a part of my art. It is what I offer the world, this work. My work and my life are intertwined, and my work is creativity and spirituality. So the question that I've received this week is, how do I stay in my heart during these times? And before I address that question directly, I want to just tell you a little bit about what I've been doing and where I am right now. I have a very small platform. I am so grateful for each person who follows me on social media, reads the blog, watches these videos. I truly love you. When I tell you that I love you, I mean that. I'm so grateful for you being here. I honor you, and I hope that what you find in the exchange that we have is worthwhile to you, and that it is helpful to you, that it uplifts you in some way. But I'm very aware that I'm talking to a small group of people right now, and I am, wherever it is that I'm posting on social media or sharing my words, sharing my thoughts, it's not to a large audience. Even so, I feel I have a responsibility as someone who creates content, as someone who posts things, who offers work, to be as honest as I can be with you in every moment, and especially in times of evolution, when I am changing, when the world is changing, when beliefs are changing, to just try to remain vulnerable to you and open and show you what is really going on in my work and in my life. We are all here together. We are all connected. Everything that happens is happening to the collective. Everything is happening we're all together, and each of our words and actions impact the collective. I have talked a lot in my life and in my work about oneness and unity consciousness, and how we're all the same, how we're all pieces of the same love, how we are all interconnected. And I believe that it is part of my foundational belief about who we are and what we are. But I also acknowledge that I have far too often fallen into the trap of floating out in the macro and just floating out in the ethers of this idea of cosmic love and oneness, and how we're all part of the same fabric and we're all children of God, without really becoming embodied and coming into the physical world and doing the real actual work of social justice. So one thing that I'm doing this week, the primary thing that I've been doing this week, is attempting to educate myself. And I'm listening to Black voices, I am reading, I am taking in information, and I am searching within myself for all of the racism that is in me, to find it, to pull it out, to ask God for forgiveness for that, and to change it, to alter it within myself, to get rid of it within myself. I feel that I have far too often been a person who thinks about social justice, prays about it, wishes things were different, without using my position of privilege, without using my voice, without really trying hard enough to bring about change. I have been a person who has been hesitant to really share my voice on social media, for instance, and talk about what I really believe and what I really think. And I have held back from doing that because I have thought to myself, it doesn't really matter what I say. I have thought to myself, if I post something, some article that I think is important about what the current administration, for instance, is doing, I'm either posting to people who already agree with me or people who are never going to agree with me. And so I've not done it. But that has changed. I will no longer I will no longer hold back from using my voice. Sometimes people say they wish, we don't want to don't make things so political. But here's the thing. Politics, that stuff that we put in under the umbrella of politics, that's our lives. That's people's lives. We need to talk about these things. We have a responsibility to talk about these things. I think there are many reasons why people choose not to speak out about social justice. One of those reasons, and I think there are many, but one of those reasons that I think white people don't speak out is the fear of doing it incorrectly. I know that I have had this fear a lot. I might be seeing something wrong in the wrong way. I might express myself in a way that I end up unintentionally harming someone I love, hurting my Black friends and colleagues, and I don't want to do that. I don't want to do it wrong. But here's the thing. We are going to do it wrong. There are going to be times when you're speaking out, when you mess up. We have to keep doing it. And what we have to do is put our egos down and put our defenses down and allow ourselves to be corrected. When we do mess up, accept that correction, make amends, try to apologize for that, redirect, and keep going. This is not a time for anyone to remain silent. This is not the past. What we are seeing happen right now, this is our chance. This is an opportunity to completely change the world and the system. Completely. So I am reading, I am listening, I am educating myself. I'm using my voice to the best of my ability, and I am putting one foot in front of the other, attempting to live my integrity and to be in alignment. For the past, 5 years or so, when I talk to you, I keep coming to you with this message from Spirit, this message about making sure your life is in alignment. I think this is what we were talking about, this moment right now. Is your life in alignment with your beliefs? Are your actions in alignment with your beliefs? Are your words in alignment? Suspend disbelief with me for just a moment. Just allow me to take you into an area, and you might not think that this is true. You might not think that what I'm saying to you is true, but just suspend your disbelief just for a moment. Imagine that what is happening right now is divinely to completely shift the course of our country and of humanity. Imagine that before you were born, your soul made the choice to come here to live this life right now. Because you had a role to play in this transition. What is it? What is the gift that you have? What can you do? What can you do? What is your gift? It's going to be different for everyone. So some people have the gift of being able to be out in the streets demonstrating. They have that physical presence. They are protesting. They are demonstrating in the streets. That's their gift. They can be there. Some people have the gift of money, and they can redirect their money so that instead of giving money to corporations and businesses that are feeding the current administration, that have not come out to make a statement about Black lives, they can take that money and redirect it toward Black-owned businesses, toward businesses that are making a statement. Some people have the gift of political activism. They can get behind candidates. They can knock on doors. They can, I don't know if we're going to be knocking on doors during this pandemic, but metaphorically, they can motivate other people to vote, and that's their gift. Some people's gift is going to be the way that they make art. Some people's gift is to offer healing. Some people's gift is to go through their churches and hand out bottles of water and food to protesters. Everybody's going to have a different gift. Find your gift. Find your gift. Find what you're here to give to this moment. Don't be afraid to use your voice and to speak up, because I think that when I used to think it doesn't make any difference what I post, I think I was wrong about that. I think it does make a difference. I think it does. I think when I go onto my Facebook feed right now, and all I'm seeing are posts about anti-racism, about educating ourselves, about doing better. That builds an energy, that builds a momentum. People see it, and it has an impact. Deeply, genuinely, with all of my being, I apologize for my missteps and the times that I haven't done it well. My intention is to continue to get better, to listen and get better at doing it. So how do you stay in your heart in times like these? First of all, these times have always been the times. It's not that racism just suddenly flared up. There was a catalyst for these demonstrations, but these demonstrations are about 400 years of violence and oppression. We live in the same racist society that we have always lived in. So what you're seeing now is the veil being pulled away from your eyes, and the opportunity to do something and to make real change. One of the ways that you get in your heart and stay in your heart is by acknowledging that all of your emotions are valid. You have been conditioned to believe that there are good emotions and bad emotions, especially if you're a woman. But all of your emotions are valid. All of your emotions are sacred and holy. They all belong. Your anger is sacred. Your sorrow is sacred. being a deeply spiritual person, believing in love, believing in God, that doesn't mean that you have to be happy all the time. And it certainly doesn't mean that you have to float up in the ethers and just think about love and light all the time. You're a real person. You get to be real in your body, in this world. And part of being real is experiencing, honoring, and allowing all of your emotions. Let your anger motivate you. You aren't in your heart if you're overthinking, if your mind is spinning, if you're not sure where you stand, if you're, we're all taking in a lot of information, it's coming really quickly. That's part of how we misstep too, because we have these quick reactions to things. If you're too much in your head, if you're too much in your thoughts, if you're too much trying to figure things out, then you're not in your heart. When you're in your heart, that's when you're in real discernment. Ask yourself, in every moment, ask yourself, how does this feel? If someone is presenting something to you, how does this feel? What feels right? If that's how you find your gift, by the way, what feels right? Ground yourself. Ground yourself. Walk out onto the earth. Ground yourself. Feel that connection. Feel that you are both spiritual and physical. You're in your heart when you are listening openly to other people, when you are listening to their experiences. You're in your heart when you are offering healing. It is not passive. Love is not passive. It's not submissive. Love is an action. So when you are taking action, when you're using your voice, when you're doing what it is that you came here to do, then you are in your heart. So yes, of course, please remember that you are a beloved child of God, as is every human being, every animal. Please remember that we are all connected, that we are all part of the one. But we cannot get to that place. We cannot get to unity until we eradicate social injustice and racism. We can't float out there until we have brought the medicine in here. I do not have the answers to anything. I do not. But I am dedicated to trying to learn, to learning what it is that I can do and doing it. Let's not stay silent. Let's not sit back and hope that things work out, that hope that somebody else does something. Let's be the person who does something. Thank you for being here. I'll be talking to you next week.